Hi guys! So, first of all, and I'm shaking the whole thing. Alright, I don't know if this is going to work or not. First of all, I'm really sorry about the quality of the video. Okay, the truth is that I can't find my camera. I know it's somewhere. I know it's somewhere in the house, but I can't find it. So, I'm very sorry about the continued poor quality because I'm using my computer camera and it is very low quality. Also, look, you can see my decals now. And apparently decals are a juvenile thing. I don't care. They're pretty. They make me happy. So yeah, sorry about the video quality. Hopefully I will get that fixed sooner rather than... Hopefully I don't find my camera, okay? We'll just leave it at that. I've been doing alright. Decently. Today's actually kind of a milder tick day overall, so that's been good. In spite of getting terrible sleep, which is just a common trend. I had a midwife appointment yesterday. I'm 25 weeks now. Woohoo! So we were talking at my appointment, and I was talking about how kind of been having some issues lately with being nice. Okay, so I'm easily overwhelmed these days, and a lot of it has to do with sleep, and a lot of it has to do with just like the other mental stuff going on. I keep shaking this. But so the midwife asked if I want to try some sort of something or other. She's like, do you think that would help? And I'm like, well, I think getting sleep would help. That's what I really think would help a lot. But, so yeah, other than the sleep thing, today's actually been pretty decent. I just kind of been struggling with accepting the current normal, I guess. Like, okay, so I take part in National Novel Writing Month every year, which starts in November, so it's just about to start. So I was going to say tomorrow, because today is 31st of October, but I don't know if this video will get uploaded by then. So, starts the 1st of November, and the goal is to write a 50,000 word novel. Bananas, hello. During the month of November. And this will be my 15th year doing it. Woo! I started when I was 16, so it had only been around for 5 years when I joined. So yeah, I've been doing it for 15 of the 20 years that's been in existence, and I have written 50,000 words every time, but I've not necessarily been very successful with the actual story every time, or I haven't necessarily finished it every time, but it's always a fun experience. Ha! Hello. So yeah, I have no idea what I'm writing. I have absolutely zero clue whatsoever what I'm writing. So this will be fun because it starts in like 8 hours-ish? 9 hours? 8 or 9 hours from when I'm making this video now. I have no clue what I'm writing, no clue. But a lot of times they'll do a kickoff party and you go, and because it's Halloween into the 1st, they frequently will do like a costume party. And so you'll start writing at midnight, and it's just kind of a lot of fun. You stick around for an hour or two, get home late, and it's a good time. And the past couple of times that I have intentionally stayed up late, it has not gone well the next couple of days. It's been really bad, actually, the next couple days following a night where I intentionally stay up late because I'm busy with something or whatever. So it's been difficult for me to realize that I can't go do that. I mean, I could, but it would be bad. And that's a struggle for me because I like to do what I like to do, you know? So it's been an adjustment. Anyway, yeah, the other big thing that's going on, you may or may not hear from me for the next couple weeks because we are going on a big, huge road trip, which hopefully this will not be a problem. Look at this. I gotta show you guys this. These are just the socks for my children that I have to pack for this trip. Socks. Just the socks. It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, we're leaving in like 4 days. So I'm doing packing. I just went out yesterday and bought a whole bunch of snacks and stuff for the car and like different activities for the kids to do. So it's going to be fun. It's like 26 hours of driving. We're going to break it up over like 3 or 4 days. Bananas. Hello, 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 hello. And going to see some sights. And I'm really looking forward to it. But there is a whole lot to do before we leave. So yeah, this may be the last video for the next couple weeks for me. I don't know. We'll see. I'll try to update on the road, but I don't know. But the real reason I did this video at all, now that I've already spent 5 minutes yakking at you guys, is because I wanted to finally get around to doing this book review. So this is a book about the history of Tourette syndrome, and I finally finished reading it. It's called A Cursing Brain by Howard I. Kushner. And the too long didn't watch the rest of the video version is highly recommend it. You should get this book. So what I really like about this book is that it really goes through the whole history of Tourette syndrome and really goes in depth through the years about how it's the perception of it has changed and what scientists think it has changed. So it was a very interesting read, very well written, and a lot of research went into this book. There are 60 hello, bananas. 60 pages of notes in the back of this book. So that's serious, y'all. Look at all those notes. So yeah, I intend to read it again. I feel like I would probably pick up a lot more information reading it again. I really enjoyed reading it. Well, the one thing I will say is it was frustrating to read just because, 90% of what you read in this book is about how it was perceived as, being possessed or being a psychological issue. And it's not until you get to the last couple chapters that you finally get to, oh, maybe there is actually something going on, like, neurologically. So that makes it... Bananas, hello, turpentine. That makes it kind of a frustrating read just because the accounts, especially of children in this book who were just put through ridiculous things because they were basing their issues on psychological issues. It's just frustrating. It's very frustrating to read. And my favorite, hold on, I'll see if I can find it here. Just a second. Okay, I found it. So it's relating a case that Margaret Mallory was in charge of in the 1930s into the 1940s. Where it was the idea that it was really psychological was like huge at that point. And they're talking about a patient who they're calling Pete. And I love Pete. Pete is my favorite. So he's 11 and a half in this study. And they're basically telling him that all of his issues are because of repressed concerns with sexuality and that kind of thing. So, let me quote this to you. Pete grew depressed and discouraged because his tics did not abate and complained to his mother that psychiatry was witchcraft and superstition. I love it. It goes on to say, it's silly, that's all. All this talk, how can it help me? It's like the Middle Ages. Those faith healers, that's just like this business. I love he tells it like it is. It's my favorite. So, yeah, Pete is pretty excellent. So at the end, when they do these interviews with him, and they're basically trying to convince him that his tics are because of sexual issues. And toward the end, it says he remained skeptical. Quote, You told me these tics came because of the mixed up feelings, and lots of those feelings have to do with the sex business. Well, I've had tics since I was about 3 years old. How does that fit in? I love how he actually questions the doctors and is like, no, this doesn't make sense. Why are you telling me this? Yeah, it is a difficult read just because it's frustrating to read about kind of what a lot of these kids went through. I mean, a lot of children, adults too, but a lot of children who went through this where they were told, well, you have issues with sexuality and you need to confront these issues. So it's difficult to read because of that, but it's still a really good book. Tons of notes at the end. Lots of other resources to look into at the end, which I do want to try to hunt down a lot of those. But the last thing in the book that I really appreciated was the author talks about how in more recently there's been kind of a push to redefine Tourette's and clarify that it's not the cursing disease. And he says it is important. I mean, that's an important thing, and that's something that I know a lot of people with Tourette's on YouTube have talked about. How oh my goodness, every time you say you have Tourette's, they're like, oh, does that mean you curse all the time? So that's a huge thing that needs to be addressed. But the author writes, in an attempt to more accurately construct a phenotype, we run the risk of sanitizing Tourette syndrome and unintentionally characterizing its most florid victims as other and exceptions. Without the stories of the cursing tickers, from the Marquise de Dampierre in the 1820s to Adam Seligman in the 1980s, the world would never have been educated about Tourette syndrome in the first place. Hello. Without the stories of florid sufferers, psychiatrists, neurologists, and researchers never would have been authorized or funded to investigate this disorder, and they never would have been able to treat the less florid majority. Having often witnessed parents of those with mild symptoms attempting to avoid contact with children with florid symptoms, I can imagine a scenario in which support groups segregate the florid from the simply ticking and grunting. Such a result would be a Gothic reenactment of the histories of attitudes toward Tourette syndrome sufferers elaborated in this book. With that in mind, this book is a tribute to those who suffered the humiliating experience of cursing contrary to their desire not to do so. It is also a reminder to the rest of us of the debt we owe them. And I really like that ending because we do struggle a lot with the cursing stereotype and with everybody assuming that that's what Tourette's is. And so that is a big struggle to communicate. It's a lot more than that. That's a minority symptom. But I do think it's important to recognize that without the really severe cases, without the florid cases, we wouldn't have figured out what we know now. I do highly recommend the book. I'm glad I purchased it as opposed to trying to find it at the library. First of all, I couldn't find it at the library because I would have done that and then probably never finished it. Bananas. But I'm really glad to have it on my shelf because it's a really good reference book, resource book, and has a lot of good stuff in the back that I'm looking forward to kind of further diving into. So, good book. I recommend it. Buy this book. Alright, I gotta go because my kids are going nuts. I gotta finish packing, and it's a madhouse out there. So, again, if you don't hear from me in a few weeks, I will let you know all about our adventures when we get back. I'm gonna try to do a couple updates on the road, but I can't promise anything, guys. I'm not gonna try to promise it and not be able to fulfill. So, I will let you know all about it when I get back if I'm not able to update on the way. So, that's it. Take care, guys. Bye.